Noche UFC. This is the weigh-in recap show, full card predictions, and the betting breakdown. Really looking forward to talking about each of the matchups after seeing the fighters on the scales. So make sure you guys smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Turn the post notifications on and make sure to share the video as well. And also note, I will be live for the entire Noche UFC fight card, 7 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday. Do not miss the fight companion. And let's get into the first fight on the card. We have Josefine Knutsson versus Marnic Mann. Throughout the week, I have been picking Josefine Knutsson, and I've actually kind of been going down the knockout hole. I'm expecting to see some violence in this fight here. Now, I know Knutsson coming off a win on Dana White's Contender Series. She won by a decision. She wasn't signed to the UFC directly, but shortly after got a short notice opportunity. It was actually supposed to be Yasmin Lucindo. Some, shifts in matchups have led us here to the Marnic Mann fight. I expect Knutsson to just be significantly more well-rounded, definitely the superior striker. Also expect her to be able to fend off Marnic Mann's potential takedown attempts. I expect some strong pressure at times by Marnic Mann looking for takedowns, but I see so many strikes landing as she looks to close the gap. I think Knutsson is clearly the more athletic and better fighter, and honestly, her clinch grappling control on that Contender Series bout showed me here. I think even if she's tied up with Marnic Mann, she's going to be stronger than her. So Knutsson's going to be the pick and has been all week, but we will look at them on the scales, and I'll tell you something, Marnic Mann looked pretty solid. I mean, she doesn't look out of shape or fat. Like, she looks ready to rock. She's got a good look to her here. And there's Josefine Knutsson. She's kind of got a violent look in her eye. She seems ready for this big spot, and I think she's looking to make a statement after not being signed to the UFC off of Contender Series, which is a big reason why I'm thinking she's going to end up getting the knockout. She's got the lightning bolt on her face with the Swedish colors. You got an intense face off there. I think Knutsson's going to win. For me, it's more going to come down to Knutsson as the winner seems real likely. I would say high confidence call. I've called it a high confidence pick all week. But as far as the actual method of victory, that's where things can get murky, because Knutsson does have a fair amount of decision wins as of late, but she also has knockout capabilities, scary high kicks. Note that Marnic Mann was knocked out against Bruna Brazil in her Dana White's Contender Series appearance. Since then, she won just one fight, and now she's taken on Josefine Knutsson, who I think is a problem. I'm going to say Knutsson does find the knockout and put Marnic Mann to sleep. So we're going Knutsson by KO. Lucky we're calling KO. Minus 805 for the money line. So bad. So bad. A lot of these odds on this card, they look like professional boxing lines. Minus 805 Knutsson, Marnic Mann plus 555. Inflated line without a doubt here. Now, Knutsson by knockout is the official call, but it's only sitting at plus 145 with her by decision at plus 105. Like, I do believe she's got a real chance to get a knockout. I'm going to predict that she gets a knockout. But if we go decision and she wins by unanimous decision, 30-27 on all three judges' scorecards, I'm not really going to be shocked here, which is why, I'd always push you guys towards, if you are considering betting, the money line side, so you're not risking it all on a potential prop, especially a fight here where she's got more than just a knockout chance. I think that Knutsson could outwork Mann for 3 rounds. Minus 805 is just such a bad tag. So Knutsson should win, but pretty ugly betting side as far as this matchup here. Minus 805. Big favorite, but it is big confidence from me. I expect Knutsson to get it done over Marnic Mann. Move to 7-0. She's a good prospect. Granted, Marnic Mann, 3 years older than Knutsson, has a solid record at 6-1. And that Amber Brown decision win was her most recent fight 4 months ago. Obviously, Knutsson beat Isaac Veerbeck on the Contender Series. So Knutsson for the W. I think she's beaten Marnic Mann. I'm going to call a knockout. But, the method of victory, if it goes distance, don't be shocked. Next fight on the card, it's Charlie Campbell versus Alex Reyes. So all week, I've been picking Charlie Campbell to win this fight here against Alex Reyes, because Reyes is essentially a wild card fighter at this point if we dig into his last fight. About 6 years ago, he was knocked out by Mike Perry. He's dealt with injuries. He had a spinal infection. He had, some serious setbacks that prevented him from getting a comeback fight in the UFC. And honestly, a lot of his prime, unfortunately, wasted away. Now at nearly 37 years of age, he looks to bounce back against a dangerous Charlie Campbell, who's a pretty damn fucking scary striker. He's got knockout power. He can start fights very fast. He also trains at the Longo Weidman team, so he's got a capable ground game. The sensible pick is Charlie Campbell all day, but we're going to look at the guys on the scales here, and I guess we got to see, how is Reyes looking after years off? And note, his UFC debut was at 170. His best work is at 55. There is Charlie Campbell, shredded, jacked, looking solid. There is Alex Reyes, who looks very good as well. He's in good shape, but how much ring rust? He's been out of the game for so damn long, whereas Campbell has been active as hell, and he was fucking up Chris Duncan before he got caught. Granted, still got caught in that fight. Let's actually shift the face off to the right matchup. This one here, I got to say, shout out Charlie Campbell's corner man or camera guy, whatever, for absolutely getting in the way of the UFC shot. I had to take a screenshot from far out because as the UFC camera comes in, his guy on the camera is just blocking him, man. If I'm the UFC, I'm like, yo, get that guy out of the fucking corner. What the hell? What the hell? I guarantee you he heard some fucking backlash for that because he got in the way of the UFC official camera. If you watch the ceremonial weigh-ins, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Reyes looked confident. Reyes looks good. I mean, he's an unknown. He really is. We don't know enough about him. I'm picking Charlie Campbell, but I have avoided calling Charlie Campbell a high confidence or most confident pick on this card because of the relative unknown with his opponent. Alex Reyes is a plus 410 underdog. He was originally scheduled to fight Natan Levy here, so Campbell is taking this fight on short notice. Minus 560 for Charlie Campbell. It's a ludicrous line. It actually makes about 0 cents. Opened up at 4-1 as the favorite. Opened up larger than Levy did against Reyes, or at least at the time that the line shut because the matchup got canceled. Very odd. I'm going to say Campbell by a first-round knockout is the pick, but I'm not going to advise you to go towards betting a Campbell knockout at minus 240. Reyes by sub plus 1,400. Listen, it's degenerate as fuck, and it's not my official prediction, but Reyes by submission is not impossible. I mean, if you dig at Reyes' resume outside of the UFC, you see he's got some subs, he's got some knockouts. I mean, the guy does well. Look at this. 2017. 2015. Oh my gosh. The odds of him pulling it off, though. I mean, look at the recent, 4 out of the last 5 wins are by submission. Granted, they were in the last decade, which is never a good sign because in the fight game, you're looking for guys that are pretty active. Charlie Campbell should blitz a past his prime / ring rusted Alex Reyes and win by first round knockout. But, I wouldn't just be betting the house on Charlie Campbell saying he's an absolute because Reyes hasn't fought in 6 years. So we don't know for sure. It's more than half a decade. We're going Campbell. We're going knockout. But with the odds like this, if you're one of the betting side guys where you're like, yo, I want to throw down on an absolute lock, I would lean you towards not throwing it all down on this one. I'm saying he's getting a knockout. I think that's probably going to happen, but we don't know what Alex Reyes is going to bring with 6 years off from the game. Campbell, though, the official pick by knockout. Next fight, ladies going after it. Tracy Cortez versus Jasmine Jasudavicius here. I'm picking the side of Jasmine Jasudavicius. I have been all week long. I think she's got the physicality edge on Tracy Cortez, and I know everybody loves Tracy Cortez. I mean, why wouldn't you? She's absolutely beautiful, and she can fucking fight. She can scrap. She can wrestle. She's a good mixed martial artist, but I think Jasudavicius is going to be the stronger girl. Add in the height and reach advantage and the fact that she's got the momentum peaking in her favor with 2 straight wins, and her loss to Natalia Silva is nothing to be ashamed about. And then you look, it's been a year and 3 months since Tracy Cortez had a competitive but win over Melissa Gatto. I think Jasudavicius is going to beat her here, so I am riding with Jasudavicius to spoil Tracy Cortez's comeback fight. I think she's going to do it. Jasudavicius for the win. There's Jasudavicius on the scale. Looks about what you expect from her. Here's Tracy Cortez, who honestly, if it wasn't as good of a fucking fighter, would definitely be doing modeling. And then as far as the face-off between these two, Cortez is a pit bull. She was right in her face. She was like, yeah, let's get it. Let me shrink this down so I'm not covering myself. But Jasudavicius has got that cold-blooded killer demeanor, man. She's a Canadian killer. The way she looks her in the eyes. Like, both girls are going to bring it. Jasudavicius is going to have a bit more. I'm going to pick Jasudavicius by a decision here in this matchup. Now, as far as the betting lines for the fight, Jasudavicius is an underdog coming into this matchup at plus 104. She opened all the way up at plus 145. We've seen some line movement, though. We've seen it shift to, even a Jasudavicius favorite side. I like her as a dog a lot here. Tracy Cortez, the minus 124 favorite, probably going over 2.5, which is minus 425. I expect 3 hard-fought rounds. Jasudavicius on the judges' scorecards, plus 135. Most likely she's winning by decision. Money line, though, you're in the plus territory. If some shit went weird and she ended up getting a stoppage, at least you're not, spoiled at the fucking betting section. You're not fucked over by just trying to throw it on the prop. Jasudavicius for the win. I say she beats Tracy Cortez, man. All UFC wins by decision. She's a workhorse. Cortez is going to be tough to put away. I'm going Jasudavicius by a unanimous decision as the official prediction. Got a dog in this one right here, and I believe she's going to win it. Next fight on the card is Edgar Cháirez versus Daniel Lacerda. I'm picking Edgar Cháirez, but you guys got to understand, I really like Daniel Lacerda. I think he's a super fun style. He just has some serious holes in his game. He lacks defensive awareness. He lacks fight IQ. And honestly, he seems to lack a gas tank. And I'll throw another red flag. Seems like he breaks. When fights don't go his way, he can't get you out of there. He starts to wilt. And that's going to be trouble against a guy with the Mexican toughness like Edgar Cháirez, who's ready for a 3-round war. And also has some submission skills to go alongside of a tight boxing style. Lacerda's the more explosive and, more talented guy. And he's going to come out fast on Cháirez, but it's going to be hard to hurt Cháirez and then even harder to get him out of there. Lacerda needs a first-round knockout. Cháirez is prepared to go long. I'm going to call a Cháirez second-round win. TKO or submission. I've been saying inside distance all week. I think that would be the better option if you're looking to prop it. We'll talk the odds in a second here. I expect Cháirez to get a stoppage in that second round. There is Lacerda, though. I'll tell you something. For a guy who might be on the UFC chopping block, was extremely relaxed at the official weigh-ins and the ceremonials. We'll pull up the face-off. There's Cháirez looking like a badass. And then let's pull up the face-off here. Face-off between these two right here. Let's get it up. Let's scoot it over in just a second. There we go. Good intensity, man. Lacerda and him both cool with one another. But they're going to bring a firefight. Expect the usual. Lacerda, first-round blitz. Fatiguing. Getting hurt. Stopped. I'm going to say that Cháirez probably TKO or submits him in the second. I don't know. Submission is really live here, but I can see ground and pound. That's the issue with this fight. If you're looking to prop things up, you're sitting in a territory where Cháirez inside distance is super live, but you're going to be chasing the value. Now, as far as money line, minus 211 for Cháirez. De Silva at plus 181. Cháirez to win inside of the distance is minus 195. That absolutely sucks. A TKO for Cháirez is plus 150 with a sub sitting at plus 200. If you note Cháirez's last 3 wins, we got submission, and we got a KO, TKO. I can see Lacerda getting ground and pounded in the second round, but I can also see him getting strangled here, man. That's why I like inside distance the most. The money line's not awful either. I'm expecting Cháirez to get a finish. I'm going to call second round stoppage. It's going to probably be inside the distance. Expect Lacerda to come out really fast and maybe even have good moments in the first round. Ultimately get caught and lose. We've seen it time and time again. Molina loss. Figueiredo loss. Altamirano loss. CJ Vergara loss. His best performance was against Vergara, but then he still got beaten. I'm going to say Cháirez outdogs him and pulls it off, man. When the going gets tough, Edgar Cháirez is the guy to pick. He's going to pull it off here. Next fight on the card, it's Roman Kopylov versus Josh Fremd. I have been picking Roman Kopylov, and I actually called him the lock of the week this week. I feel like Roman Kopylov is going to style on Josh Fremd. His stand-up game is obviously very superior technically. He's a lot slicker and more powerful. Fremd is a heavy and strong guy that can use his physicality well, but 2 UFC wins here, Cedric West Dumas, Jamie Pickett, lower level competition. Roman Kopylov taking out Claudio Ribeiro, who's a good knockout artist. Punahele Soriano, who was a pretty, well-respected striker for a while, and then beating the Italian Di Chirico. I like Roman Kopylov's 3-fight win streak. I'm expecting him to push it to 4, and I'm going to call a knockout here as well. He's going to knock out the taller guy in Josh Fremd. Let's check these guys out on the scales and see how they look. Obviously, you're going to note when they face off, Fremd a bit taller. There's Josh Fremd there. There was Roman Kopylov, dude. I think Kopylov is coming into his own with his career. I just think he's of a different class right now than the side of, the tough, but I just think lacking the, absolute skill set of Josh, being Josh Fremd. Looking at the face-off here, I'll say, Josh Fremd kind of got close to him, and you can see Kopylov a little tight back. You can take that as a bad sign, but Kopylov's a, non-smack talker. He's not going to be running his mouth. He's looking to get into a fight, and he does that damn well. Dude, he's going to be able to stop Josh Fremd's grappling onslaught. Josh Fremd, he's strong and he's got decent wrestling, but he's not an A-tier wrestler. He's still gotten, strangled by Trayshawn Gore 2 fights ago. Let's not forget about that. And I expect Roman Kopylov to beat him up. I'm going Kopylov knockout. I'll tell you something, though. Height difference doesn't look as substantial when they face off, and it's not like there's a huge reach disadvantage for Kopylov. So his technical kickboxing game, I think, is going to be his bread and butter in this fight, and expect him to get a clean win. And that's why I called him the lock. I expect it to be the lock. It's going to push me to 5 locks in a row with Kopylov getting it done. Now, not my favorite line here. We've seen expansion of these lines. We saw at open -145, -240 throughout a lot of the week. And then obviously, it swelled up and got all the way as big as -405, now around -310. I expect Kopylov to win. I'm very confident that he pulls this off, guys. No bullshitting in this one here. I'm going to say Kopylov by a KO. KO for Kopylov, unfortunately, is only -150. I'll expect a KO here. Money line is better. The lock is the money line because I'm not going to lock a prop. I think that if you look at Roman Kopylov's kickboxing game, he should be able to absolutely outstrike a Josh Fremd, and I think he's going to probably put his lights out. But if it ended up going 3 rounds, man, and you ended up deciding, I just want to throw down on the prop, might be kicking yourself, especially when you're not even at the plus money territory. If we were looking at +200, +150, +125 even, a Kopylov win by KO, I'd be more excited for it. But in that favorite territory, in the minuses, I don't love it. Kopylov, straight money line, -310. Yes, he's a wide favorite, but I think he's a sure winner. I'm picking Roman Kopylov with high confidence, and I'm going to call him the lock of the week, and he's going to beat Josh Fremd by knockout. And I think he's on, I feel like, the path to, at the very least, be reaching that top 20, but he's working towards top 15. I love Roman Kopylov's game, man. He's a hand-to-hand combat master of sport over in Russia. It's pretty fucking badass. He's got solid takedown defense. I've heard he's been doing some work with the Dagestanis, and I can just imagine him becoming just an even more well-rounded savage for Josh Fremd. I think it's just too much of a matchup here. So we're going Kopylov to win, and I'm calling the KO officially. Lock of the week here. Next fight on the card. Ladies going after it in our featured prelim. It's Lupita Godinez versus Elise Reed. I've been picking Lupita Godinez to win this fight throughout the entire week. I think that she's a really hard matchup for Elise Reed. I feel like she can outbox her in the striking department, outmuscle her in the grappling department, being the better wrestler. It's just about Lupi is not a great finisher. And I mean, if you look at Lupi Godinez's career, you see that she has just 2 sub wins as opposed to 8 wins on the decision side. And inside the octagon, outside of the Silvana Gomez Juarez armbar, it's been Decisionville, USA. Now, Elise Reed has gotten finished, right? Loma Luke Boom beat her. Sam Hughes beat her. Sijara Eubanks stopped her. So we got all 3 losses are all stoppages. Something to note on the side of Elise Reed. Doesn't mean Lupita Godinez is going to go out there and strangle her. But it's not impossible for her to do it because, honestly, Lupi might be due for a finish here. But I can't call it off being due for a finish because that's just bullshit. I'm going to call Lupi Godinez on the judges' scorecards officially. And I feel like the weigh-ins, it adds to the confidence a bit, even though both girls look solid. There's Elise Reed. She looks typical. Lupi, she looks typical as well. And then we'll look at the face-off where Lupi had a good aura about her, man. I don't know. I just felt the confidence gleaming off of her. Good face-off here. It's Mexican Independence Day when these two throw down, and I think she's going to absolutely shine, man. There's the face-off. I got Lupi Godinez for the win. Official prediction, unanimous decision. I expect it to be a clean W for her. Now, as far as the betting lines, -400, it's super wide for Lupi's side to Elise Reed sitting at +300 as an underdog. I love Lupi to win. I expect Lupi to give Elise Reed hell in this fight. I'm going with the tough Mexican for sure. Over 2.5 is -170. I mean, probably. Lupi by decision, the official prediction is +120. Lupi by sub is only +210. She could submit an Elise Reed, though. It'd be awesome for her to get a finish, and it's not impossible. I could see her getting Reed's back and strangling her. Official prediction is still going to be decision, though, and the money line sucks at -400. So look for Lupi Godinez, who's definitely a high-confidence pick. More of a parlay piece this week. Lupi Godinez for the win. Yes, she's a wide favorite, but she should beat Elise Reed in this fight here. I'm riding with the Lupi side. Next fight on the card brings us to our main card. If you guys haven't yet, make sure you smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. It's Fernando Padilla versus Kyle Nelson. All week I've been riding with Fernando Padilla. He's a long kickboxer who's dangerous from the outside, is a 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu stylist as well, so you know he's very capable with his submission game. I could see Kyle Nelson being the better offensive wrestler, but when it gets to the mat, I don't think he offers a ton from the top. And then as far as in the stand-up game, he's at a disadvantage of reach by 5 inches, disadvantage of height by 3 inches, I guess technically 2 inches, excuse me. But when they face off, which I'll pull up in just a second here, I don't know. I felt like it looked like a little more than that. Let's scroll down. We got Kyle Nelson, the Canadian, on the scale, looking like Kyle Nelson does with the bald head, the beard. He looks as Canadian as it gets. And then we got Fernando Padilla, who honestly looks shredded as fuck, confident as hell. He's a damn good young prospect. There's an age difference between these two. Opposite careers, man. Right now, Padilla coming off a big knockout of Julian Erosa. And then on the other side, I mean, the Blake Builder win for Kyle Nelson was nothing to, sneeze at. But it's Blake Builder. It's not Fernando Padilla, a taller guy. Looks like there's about 3 inches of height there, but, we're not going to get into the nitty-gritty of the height differential, and who knows, As far as the face-off, though, I like Padilla's game. I like his confidence. I expect him to style on Nelson. He potentially gets a knockout, but Nelson is a pretty durable dude, and with Padilla, it's not like he hasn't won decisions before. I'm leaning that Padilla on the judges' scorecards. Now, I would say money line -240. Padilla should pull it off. Kyle Nelson +206. What do we open up at? We opened up at -350 for Padilla, so better than that open, which is good. Over 2.5 is plus money at +155. Let's see. Padilla by decision +300 with a Padilla by knockout at +165. I mean, Padilla's striking skill from the outside could be a major factor, but I don't think that Kyle Nelson has like extreme defensive deficiencies. Like if you look at the Julian Erosa fight, and I called Padilla by knockout in that fight as an underdog. Julian Erosa is a guy that notoriously keeps his hands low and is able to get knocked out and kind of struggles with frames like a Padilla. Note that Kyle Nelson fought a guy with a similar frame, and Jai Herbert obviously lost that fight by a unanimous decision. I think that Fernando Padilla can beat Kyle Nelson on the scorecards. Knockout, not impossible, and I'm hoping for more violence because I'm seeing a good amount of decisions. But at the end of the day, I respect Nelson's veteran savviness, and I think he gives Padilla a good run for his money, but is just inferior at the end of it. So Padilla for the win. I'm saying he's getting it done, and I'll call unanimous decision. Padilla for the W to start the main card. Next fight on the main card, we got Daniel Zellhuber versus Christos Giagos. I've been picking Daniel Zellhuber to win. And when you see these two face off, it might add to your confidence, man, because he's a tall and long kickboxer. I think Giagos, even though he has decent punching skill and he's not awful with his wrestling game, he's going to have a, big size difference to close the gap on here. And I really think he's going to struggle with the much younger guy. 9 years younger is Daniel Zellhuber. That's like a huge statistic leading into fights as far as the likelihood of a win. It's crazy high for Zellhuber. Younger, taller, more than 5 inches in reach. He's got a 5.5-inch reach advantage. That's a huge factor too. I really think Zellhuber is going to give fits to, the tough, but, I don't want to say not game, but to Christos Giagos, who's a tough cat. In shape dude. He's jacked. Look at him there. He looks solid. Zellhuber looking solid too. I'm not writing Zellhuber off because of a loss to Trey Ogden, because you look at the next fight, he absolutely brought fire to Lando Venata. Venata's a damn creative striker. There's the face-off. I mean, it looks more than 3 inches to me. It looks like 4 or 5 inches right here, and we know he's got a reach advantage too. I think Zellhuber from the outside is going to be devastating. Now, Zellhuber has not gotten that UFC finish yet, but, eventually it could end up coming. We can look here. Unanimous decision on Contender. But he does have KOs, outside of the UFC. Be a 12-3 guy at Icon, but, a debuting guy. Just fight before that Contender Series win. And then you see some, submission, TKO loss, Arman Sarukian, Thiago Moises. He knocked out Ricky Glenn, which I thought was real impressive from Giagos. It's not like Giagos is, a layover type opponent. He's going to come to fight. I just think he's going to struggle with Zellhuber, who has such a range advantage and is good at using the striking from range. Minus 275 Zellhuber. Giagos at plus 235. The call is going to be Zellhuber to win. I'm going to say unanimous decision. The over 2.5 is minus 105. Zellhuber by unanimous decision here. Plus 185, actually. But decision straight for Zellhuber, also plus 185. So you just go decision straight. I'm expecting a Zellhuber decision in this fight. I like the range advantage. Statistically, he's got every edge, and I think he has a good style that matches up with Christos Giagos. So expect Zellhuber to style on Giagos from distance, and I think he wins pretty much the majority of the striking exchanges. Zellhuber for the win. Unanimous decision, bro. He's 24, so we can't count him out from just one loss to Trey Ogden, and then he comes back and looked awesome against Lando Venata. So Zellhuber to beat Christos Giagos. Confident prediction here on this card. Next fight on it, we got the featured bout. It's Raul Rosas Jr. versus Terrence Mitchell. I've been picking Raul Rosas Jr. to win this fight all week long. El Niño Problema at just 18. He's about to be 19, though, in 3 weeks. Terrence Mitchell, tough Alaskan dude. Been dreaming of these big moments in the UFC. Obviously lost to debut to Cameron Simon. He also fought on The Ultimate Fighter. We don't know for sure the level that Mitchell brings, but I still believe Raul Rosas is going to be able to outwork him on the inside and find the submission. I don't think Mitchell's game beats a Rosas. Still, Rosas is a prospect. The loss to Christian Rodriguez is forgivable. Rodriguez is a damn good prospect too. I think that Rosas is going to be able to out-grapple Terrence Mitchell, who is a long and tall guy. But I think Rosas can find the submission. Now, he's a little kid. He's 18. He's super young. And the odds, holy shit, they're wide here. Let's scroll down, though, to Mitchell. There's Terrence Mitchell. He's lean as fuck. He looks like a crazy Alaskan motherfucker. Raul Rosas looks like he's straight out of Sesame Street. But, hey, he's a mean motherfucker from Sesame Street, bro. He's the Sesame Street Strangler. So, got to give him some fucking respect. The dude's got a good grappling game. And he's a tough kid, man. At 18, to be able to even, get inside of the UFC and throw down with these savages is quite impressive. There's the face-off. Both guys look so intense. I was really staring in the eyes of both of them. And I'm like, yeah, two guys that fucking want it bad. Yeah, one of them's only 18. It's a dogfight. I'm going to say Rosas does find a way to win. I think he submits Terrence Mitchell. I called this a high confidence pick, but at the end of the day, the odds are horrible for Raul Rosas. He is a minus 850 favorite. Yeah, you heard that right, 850. He's the biggest favorite on the card. And then Terrence Mitchell is plus 600 as an underdog. These lines ain't real. You want to call him 3-1, that's fine. But 850? Fuck no. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. Over 1.5 plus 215. I mean, it's a maybe. I think that Rosas is going to submit him. I feel pretty good about a rear naked choke. Rosas to win by submission, minus 175. That sucks, but that is the official call. I expect him to find the sub on Terrence Mitchell. I don't want to say Mitchell's like underwhelming. I mean, dude, it's Alaskan MMA scene. He seems like he's got solid kickboxing. He's got very long legs. He's a tall guy, but the competition level is a bit slim over in Alaska. And Raul Rosas, regardless of how bad he took an ass whooping against Christian Rodriguez, he did strangle Jay Perrin in the fight before that. And Mario Batista took him all the way to decision, right? And won that on the cards. So we can't sleep on Rosas' jits, man. His submission game's legit, and I think he finds a strangle on Terrence Mitchell. We're going Rosas to win via submission. He beats Terrence Mitchell, bounces back from loss, and let's not write him off just yet, at not even 19 yet. Raul Rosas, el niño problema, for the win. Co-main event of the evening, and it is a guaranteed banger between Kevin Holland and Jack Della Maddalena. I really love this fight here. I've been picking Kevin Holland to upset Jack Della Maddalena all week here. Kevin Holland is the taller guy by 4 inches, is going to bring in an 8-inch reach advantage. Holland also has very quick boxing skills with knockout power and a super legit, I'll say it with a fucking accent, a super legit jiu-jitsu game. Yeah, his actual wrestling base, it's developing. It's gotten better. I mean, he strangled Chiesa last time out and stopped takedowns. Granted, many will say it was the corpse of Michael Chiesa. Fair. Jack Della Maddalena is primed, and he's going to come out hard on Kevin Holland. Jack Della's boxing game is off the charts good, 100%. But Kevin Holland's going to have the length and, I think, potentially the speed edge, too, with the hands. I could see him hurting Jack Della Maddalena, and he said himself, he's not giving him that Wonder Boy respect. It's an MMA fight. I'm saying he's strangling Jack Della. Submission win. Kevin Holland. Upset in the co-main event. That's my official call for that one. Now, let's shrink it all down, and let's look at these guys on the scales. There's Jack Della. Looks good, ready to go. Respect him turning around so quick and getting ready for war. Then there's Kevin Holland, who looks like Kevin Holland. No issues with the weights for anybody, which I'm really happy about. Everybody on weight, that's a great thing. And then we'll get the face-off up. It was a casual face-off. It wasn't a crazy intense one. I think the fight is going to be way more intense than the pre-fight. Kevin Holland's a chill guy. Jack Della's a chill guy. There's the face-off. You can see Holland's the taller guy. He's got the long arms. Jack Della, and, his tight stance there. Looking down at, the chest for Kevin Holland. He's not going eye-to-eye with Jack Della. Listen, it doesn't matter. I think Kevin Holland's going to give him hell inside of that octagon. I'm picking Kevin Holland to get the win by club and sub. That's my official call for this matchup here. I think he's taken out Jack Della Maddalena. Now, as far as the odds, Holland is plus 120 as an underdog with Jack Della as the minus 140 favorite. Kevin Holland to win by submission, plus 425. Listen, I think he's club and subbing him. That's my official prediction. This fight probably ends under 2.5. That's minus 155. I like Holland as an underdog. I'll tell you this, though. It does probably end inside of the distance. It's definitely not impossible for a 3-round war between these two. Kevin Holland's got a good chin on him. He's a hard guy to fucking finish. And, I mean, you look at the recent losses. Khamzat Chimaev and Wonderboy win over Ponzinibbio, clean knockout, and then easily strangled Chiesa. Kevin Holland's a freak of nature at 170, and I think he's going to give hell to Jack Della Maddalena. So I'm calling it Kevin Holland for the win. He beats Jack Della Maddalena in what's going to be a pretty big upset, and he deserves it here to take out this prospect. Holland's ranked number 10 in the world at welterweight right now, And, he was criticized for saying he's not chasing a belt. You got to understand he's chasing the big money fights. He's already got a huge name in the game. So I guess just looking directly towards the title is not his main motivation. Fights like this get him excited, and they get me excited too. This fight is epic. Kevin Holland for the win. He beats Jack Della Maddalena in the co-main event. Club and sub. Main event of the evening. It's Alexa Grasso versus Valentina Shevchenko 2. If you guys haven't yet, make sure you smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. Listen, guys, I'm picking Alexa Grasso to do it again. I think she can beat Valentina Shevchenko more cleanly this time. Her boxing was on point in the first fight, and she was able to come out fast and have success on the feet. Valentina was able to outmuscle her a bit on the ground, get side control, dominate from the top a little bit. I just feel as though Alexa Grasso becoming champion, the younger woman, going to be improving, looking back at the mistakes of the last fight. Valentina Shevchenko, spinning back body kick, got her back taken, and she got strangled. I'd say Grasso has the better boxing and the jiu-jitsu between the two, right? I would say that Shevchenko is probably going to be slightly better with the wrestling, a little bit stronger, and has the better kicking skill set between the two. I think Grasso, though, is going to outdog her, being the younger girl and in her absolute prime. Whereas Valentina, at the end of the day, you look at this win here, Talia Santos, very competitive, many will say controversial split, and then she loses to Alexa Grasso. Now she's fighting Grasso again. I think Grasso's getting 2 down on Bullet Shevchenko. Past 35 to win the belt in the women's division. I think the record in championship fights for the ladies past 35 is 1 win with 11 losses. I don't think that Shevchenko's changing that narrative. I think it's Grasso. I think it's Ann still champion. She outworks Shevchenko. I think it's going to be 5 hard rounds. On Mexican Independence Day, a nice Mexican-style war. Great way to cap off the card. Not impossible for her to find a sub again, too, because Grasso has legit jiu-jitsu, and she strangled Shevchenko last time. There's Shevchenko on the scale. Looks good, looks ready to go. I just feel like at this point, past 35, I don't want to say she's washed. She's definitely not. But if she's a notch less than last time, Grasso's going to be a couple notches better. They say you get like 30, 40% better as champion. Granted, that's like a bullshit statistic. But at the end of the day, Alexa Grasso looks like the champion of the world. She's got that twinkle in her eye with confidence. I got Grasso winning this thing, guys. As far as the face-off between these two, there it is. Valentina Shevchenko and Alexa Grasso. Mad respect between both of them. They're looking to become, the best in the world. The winner's probably pound for pound #1. Currently, Alexa Grasso has that accolade. I think Valentina Shevchenko is going to give it hell, but unfortunately, he's going to fall short for a second time. I just believe it's Alexa Grasso's time now. So Grasso for the win and still champion. She beats Valentina Shevchenko in another upset because she's still the underdog. Plus 141 for Grasso. Shevchenko minus 161. I'm going with the dog. I'm going with Alexa Grasso to win. Let's see here. If you just threw down Grasso by sub because she did it last time, it's plus 400. Grasso by decision at plus 300. Interesting with the props, man. Obviously, you already have plus money with Grasso, so chasing the prop bets is not a big necessity here. I think Grasso money line underdog is more than live. I expect it to happen. I think she outworks Shevchenko. She outdogs her here and digs deep and beats her cleaner than last time. Not just a technical mistake which leads to the finish. An overall better performance and more clean win for Grasso this time out. I'm going with Ann still champion. I'm going with underdog in the main event. And I cannot wait to see these ladies face off on Saturday. But hey, we're not done just yet. We got to talk about some post-weigh-in parlays. I'm looking forward to this post-weigh-in parlay slate that we can line up here. All right. Roman Kopylov has been a high-confidence call all week. I think that he is a pretty solid parlay piece. I do expect Lupita Godinez to beat Elise Reed pretty handily. Now you're going to say, oh, it sucks, minus 160. Hey. I'm telling you, I'm feeling that this one hits. I am. Now, I've also spoken upon Edgar. Cháirez as a solid addition could be something you add on, or you could potentially replace the Lupita Godinez side and use Cháirez. Or maybe you don't like the lock Kopylov and you just want to go Godinez and Cháirez. That's not a horrible parlay either. So Kopylov, Godinez, Cháirez. I want to look for the 4-piece and add a little something. Zellhuber is calling my name at the closer money. Plus 220 for that one there. I would say it's riskier if you want to throw like Knutsson in your lineup. If you're throwing Campbell in, you're throwing a risk out there too. Because at the end of the day, it's unknowns with Alex Reyes. It's fucking unknowns with Alex Reyes, guys. Jasudavicius as a dog is very live. Let's put Grasso here. Plus 687. Kopylov, Godinez, Cháirez, Zellhuber. The over in this fight. Why not? Let me just go degenerate. Plus 862. Yeah, I wanted to get that plus 800 range or more. Do we fucking risk it all on El Niño Problemo? Plus 990. No, we don't, because it doesn't bring us to plus 1,000. And for that reason, I ain't doing it. I ain't doing it because of that. I feel like this is a solid-ass, risky slate. Like, this is riskier, but I feel like all week we've been very conservative. Besides a couple, like on the Late Night Live, you guys asked me for an 11-piece play, which I thought was fun. I think this is live right here, plus 862, though. Zellhuber, Grasso, over 2.5 in the Jasudavicius fight. Kopylov, Cháirez, Godinez. I can see all these fighters winning, man. I really do. I really do. Seems like a money call, plus 862. You don't need to get crazier than that. I mean, another option that's less crazy, less fighters in it, would be if you went with Grasso and you went with the side of Kopylov, plus 220, and you trust another Mexican fighter, and Godinez, plus 296 for that 3-fighter. Plus 220 there, though, and I'll do one without the lock, but I really believe in Kopylov. Let's see. If we went Cháirez, Godinez, we got minus 125. That's not a horrible play by any fucking means. Just note that Lacerda comes out like a bat out of hell in the first round. I really think Cháirez is going to end up beating him. But, like, there has to be a slight cautionary tale because, you know, a dangerous guy like Lacerda who's lost 4 in a row, he's got 0 to lose. I mean, he's got everything to lose. But he has to fight like he got nothing to lose. And he's going to go crazy out there. It's his style. Grasso on the slate, plus 340. I don't like getting too nuts with these things, man. I don't. I mean, the Kopylov Grasso one's interesting at plus 220. Then if you just want to go Dog City, Jasudavicius, Grasso, Kevin Holland, plus 1,032. Trifecta of dogs with the lock, plus 1,380. You get into high-risk, high-reward territory. The safer ones would be like Kopylov, Godinez, Kopylov, Cháirez, or even for some of you go Kopylov, Zellhuber. I'll clear the slate and make that one just as a little extra addition because I'm honestly curious what it's sitting at. And I can't just do the math in my head over here. Boom, minus 128. Kopylov, Zellhuber could potentially be A tier. There's a lot of ways to play it. We get carried away because you see the number consistently running up. Plus 337 for that. Be intelligent with your plays, guys. If you want to capitalize, go with your most confident calls instead of trying to risk it all. Minus 167 there. And if we add Godinez with an over, this is just to mix it up. Kopylov, the over 2.5 in the Jasudavicius Cortez fight, and Godinez, minus 103, maybe plus 105 at some spots. I think that's a decent little safe one as well to cap it off. Listen, guys, that is the weigh-in recap show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you guys smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Definitely let me know in the comments what you thought of the picks. Let me know if you got any pick flips post weigh-ins. Personally, I do not. I think everything looked as expected, on par, and maybe aided confidence into some of the calls as well. I appreciate everybody for watching. Make sure you subscribe and turn the post notifications on. And if you don't have them turned on, don't just put them on personalized. Put them on all so you don't miss a video because I got daily content dropping and you do not want to miss any of it. I'll be live for the entire Noche UFC fight card. So make sure you guys tune into that on Saturday. Cannot wait for the fight companion. Much love, my people. I appreciate you all watching the show. If you got nothing to say in those comments, but you just enjoy the content, as always, drop a W in the chat to boost the algorithm for your boy. Much love, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace, everybody.